Hi, my name is Michael Ray, and I felt compelled to share you my story with me buying a house in Puerto Rico. So, I initially wanted to go find a place where I could work in the summertime. I work from home and be able to spend time enjoying the beach and have beach access and have different things available to me that's not available to Texas where me and my son live. So I know love the Caribbean, and I finally landed on Puerto Rico. And I landed on Puerto Rico for many different reasons. One is it's not international calling, so I work from home, so I'm still able to use my cell phone, dial in the meetings. Internet access is stable. They use QS currency, and obviously there's the beach. So what else could you ask for? So I found this LinkedIn blog that talked about wanting to buy a house in Puerto Rico and all the different things. And for the most part, that is it's pretty good article. Pretty good article. One thing that I did find that they said is that there's certain people that don't have a tendency to call you back and things like that. So I did a lot of research, and I found a person that was perfect for me. I didn't know it obviously until I called him, and that is Danny Ruiz with Preferred Mortgage. And I'll leave a link in the video description so you can get to him. And I encourage you to call him because he has been amazing. He's been awesome. He's got a bunch of different people that he knows here on the island, people that are hustlers. Not hustler as in like gonna take your money, but hustler as get the job done, get things done for you, right? So just to clarify that. But people that are willing to work and that'll get the job done, that'll work for you and are very efficient. So one thing that I did notice is when I was on the island, I noticed that there's two general types of people. There's people that are on island time, and then there are people that are on mainland time. And people that are on mainland time, they hustle. They want to get stuff done. They are the people that run this island. And there's other people that also get stuff done. But I found it frustrating for me because I want things done. Boom, 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 boom. I want, let's knock it out. I got this project. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's get it done. And, I had to pray on it and say, Lord, just help me be more relaxed about this, because my experience, it didn't happen as fast as I wanted it to. And I had I was on one of my journeys that I was on. It was a journey that I needed to be more patient and let things go and let things be a little bit more relaxed. In the end, everything worked out. I was able to buy a multifamily unit. It was great. So this video is mainly about my overall experience from the first part of it, and my great experience with Danny with Preferred Mortgage. And so I called Danny up after reading the blog and looking at different things. I called two people. The first person, he never called me back. The second person, which was Danny, I can't remember if he picked up the phone or if he called me back, but I got in touch with him really quick. We started talking, and he let me know all my options. So one of the options that is really cool, I think, obviously Puerto Rico is U.S. territory, but they have Fannie Mae guidelines. So you can get a Fannie Mae guideline mortgage with that, and I thought that was very cool. So they have financing for condos, they have financing for single-family properties, they have for multifamily units and everything like that. So if you want a house in the mountains, or if you want a house by the beach, wherever, they can help you. So let me tell you more about Danny, or in my experience. So I called Danny up. He got me pre-qualified, and I think it's important here in Puerto Rico. You need to get pre-qualified just like you need to get pre-qualified on the mainland or wherever you're at, because if you find something that you want, the other realtor really won't even want to look at you, talk to you until you actually have that. So it's important that you go ahead and get that out of the way. So got that out of the way. Something that was ironic, he asked me if I if I've ever been to the island before, in the process of talking. And I told him no. And so he asked me, well, why in the world would you want to buy a place where you've never even been before? And it's back to what I was saying earlier. I want a place. I work from home, so I want a place that has constant internet, steady internet, not international calling, and that I feel safe. And this place had all of those things, much more than I ever expected. So, anyways, it came to the time. I flew in. I got a hotel room, and Danny picked me up from the hotel room, and he had some listings, and we drove around. He showed me the different areas. He gave me, a tour of the island where he kind of thought that I would want to have a place in. So he kind of screened me, if you will, to ask me what I was interested in. Are you wanting nightlife? Are you wanting the mountains? Are you wanting the beach? Are you wanting to salsa dancing? Whatever you want, right? He asked me all those questions, and he kind of helped me hone in to about 4 areas. And he personally picked me up, like I said, from my hotel, and we drove around. We drove around to the different areas. And there was a place that I had looked on, and I got to tell you, so if you're looking on Zillow, if you're looking on Puerto Rico classifieds, there's some good stuff in there. But if you're looking in the Puerto Rico MLS, forget about it. There's hardly anything that's out there that's any good, because it's not like the States where they all use MLS and you can get, that's what they use. They just don't use it here. So what worked for me, and obviously Danny knew this, and remember, Danny's a baker. He's not a realtor, right? But he still picked me up and he still took me to look at properties, and I think that's important, right? It's very important. It's the level of detail in which he was ready to go to help me achieve what I wanted to achieve. So he picks me up. We drive around like 3 or 4 areas, right? And he said the best area for last, which I think he already knew which area I would like. And I guess that was the area that I expressed interest in. And then we drove up and down every street, right? He had a couple listings, that he had printed out. But we drove up every single street. And when there was a house that we liked that says it's a vending, that's where we stopped. And he got out. I was looking at the property. He was talking to the realtor or the person that owns the house, whoever it was. And then in there, right? So we made arrangements for the people to come on site to show the property, and we just kept doing that. So we just did it in real time. It's totally different than what you would do in the States, because you never do that in the States, right? So, but it works. It really works, and he knows that, right? So it shows his level of knowledge and how everything works here, as opposed to what us as mainlanders think works, right? It doesn't work. What we think is. So I was finally able to find a property. I went and looked at it, and actually it wasn't a property out of the classifieds, the Puerto Rico classifieds, and it was a multifamily home, which is a little bit different in lending, but again, that's something that Danny can show you. And he helped me out. He helped me find it, and when it was time to get the realtor involved, he got the realtor involved, and then from there on, it was more of a traditional type of a deal as you would have in the United States. Again, it was slow. Sometimes I was thinking it wasn't even going to happen, but it happened. They're more laid back here. I think the other realtor, I think he had a regular job, and he just he did was a realtor on the side, and so we kind of had to work around that, which was it kind of drove me nuts at times, right? Because I'm thinking, hey, this isn't going to happen, but it did. It did. Like I said, I got a multifamily home. It was 3 units, so it's three individual 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom units, and I got it for a very good price, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without Danny or someone like Danny. Here's the ironic thing. As it turned out, he was ready to give me a loan for it, but the property needed a roof, right? The main unit needed a roof. He couldn't get me funding on it because the roof needed to be replaced because it was really old, right? It just wouldn't meet standards. And when we saw that the roof needed to be replaced, he called one of his guys up. Within 2 hours, his contractor came out and looked at the roof and said, "Yeah, this won't pass guidelines." And this guy is a certified guy that works on that is in the know, works on all those types of things, and he knows what will pass and what won't pass. And when we went into it, we went into the attic, and guess what? There was termites in it. So everything checks out. Everything checks out with this guy. Everything checked out with his contractor. So in the long run, as it turns out, he told me he wasn't going to be able to get me a loan on it, and he was still giving me the same level of service as he was before. Meaning, he himself wasn't going to be able to, make his commission on getting me a loan for it, but he's just that great of a guy. He's a family guy. He's married. He's got a kid, and he gave me the same level of service. So whether I was, buying, getting a loan from him or not getting a loan from him, he still helped me out. He still saw it through to the very end. My plan is to actually to get the roof on it, to go back and to get a loan from him, and to rehab it. So I'm still probably going to use his services. It's just for this particular thing, it just didn't turn out. But I will tell you this: I am loyal. I am loyal to him for that, for all the help that he's done. Because at this point, I kept going back in my head, like, well, how many trips am I going to have to come back and buy a property? Well, I will tell you this. It was one time. One time I made a trip to Puerto Rico. That first trip that I went to Puerto Rico, he helped me find a house. We were in negotiation. I went back home to Texas, and we kept working through, and the seller was going to put a roof on the house. He decided, I guess it was too much work. He didn't. It discounted the property to what it should have been. We bought the property, or I bought the property with cash that I got from a loan from the States. So it all turned out great. It turned out great, and I have Danny preferred to thank for that. So another thing is he knew that I was going to need lawyers. I needed a lawyer for the power of attorney, so that my contractor could write up everything to get him to where he can turn on the electricity, turn on the water, and be my go-between and get things done while I was there. And he knew a couple of different lawyers. The first lawyer I didn't feel comfortable with. I think it was probably more me than him. But he's like, "Hey, no problem. Let me get you this other guy." And I was sleeping the very next day. He called his guy up. His guy was at soccer practice with his kid. He had two kids in two different soccer practices at two different times. And this guy stopped what he was doing, wrote up the power of attorney forms, and met with me that same night, like while one of his kids was at soccer practice, and we did the business. And so Danny's level of commitment is awesome, and the people that he deals with are also awesome. They have what it takes. He has everybody in every profession has different types of tools. If you're a carpenter, you have knives, and you have hammers and saws and stuff like that. Well, in the mortgage business, they also have different tools, and that's lawyers, and they have realtors, and they have a bunch of different things. So anyway, I'm starting to ramble. I just want to let you guys know, if you are looking to buy a house in Puerto Rico, Danny is your guy. And if you're not sure if you want to buy a house in Puerto Rico, I suggest you start laying out the pros and the cons. And I will tell you this, the pros are, if you live in the United States, it's not international calling. It's got steady internet. to use the U.S. currency. You don't need a passport to get here. As a matter of fact, my son's here with me right now, and all I had to do was have my driver's license. And when we went through customs, when we went through the screening at the airport, they said ask him what his name was, and that's it. So I encourage you to look if you're looking to buy a house or a condo or anything, and give Danny a call. Set up an appointment, come to the island and check it out, or even just go to get certified and get a pre-approval. And anyway, thank you guys. Thank you for your time. God bless. Bye.